I'll get your good side now. You're a Westmead man, aren't you?
Yeah, well, unofficially.
Right.
Our league started this week over Westmead actually.
You're very welcome along here to Gaelic Park in Edenderry for this make-or-break clash between Offaly and London in Division 4B of the Lidl National Ladies Football League. This is Michael Brophy here on commentary for you today for this game. Both teams in a battle for second place in Division 4B in this final round of group stage games. I'll run through the team news in a short while, but just to go through the group as it stands. So we have Limerick leading the way with 2 wins from 2. They are on 6 points and can't be caught at the top, even though Offaly and London can reach 6 points today. But Limerick have the better head-to-head advantage over both. So as a result, Offaly and London both fighting it out for second place today. Winner takes all. A draw will make things a little bit more complicated. I'll get into those permutations in a little while. Carlow facing Limerick in the other game in this group. That's at 2 o'clock at Netwatch Cullen Park this afternoon. Right, so just to get to the team news, we'll start off with the hosts, Offaly first. In goals is Emer Evans of Tullamore. Then in front of her, the full back line, number 2, Nicole Buckley, Naomh Kieran. Orla Whelan at number 3 of Edenderry, and then Becky Bryant of Tullamore is at number 4. Moving to the half back line then, we have Imelda Fleming of Clara at 5, and then Emer Nally, Naomh Kieran at 6, and then the captain today for Offaly, Roisin Ennis of Naomh Kieran at 7. At 8, Emma Maher of Naomh Kieran, and at 9, her midfield partner is Aoife Carey of St. Brahans. Amy Gavin Mangan at 10 of Naomh Kieran, 11 Emma Hand, Balnamere Durrow, and 12 Saoirse McGuinness of St. Manchins. And then the full forward line, number 13 Sarah Doyle of Balnamere Durrow, Ellie McAvoy, number 14 of Naomh Kieran, and 15 Ciara Walsh of Naomh Molisha. I'll run through the subs then as well. We have 16 Tara Rowe, Dawn Hannon, Becca O'Connor, Fiona Dempsey, Annie Keogh, Anne-Marie McCormack, Roisin Mailiff, Marie Byrne, Eve Kelly, Ava Dolan, Anna Grehan, Michelle Mann, Sarah Keogh, and Nicole Farrelly. Moving to the London team then quickly, we have in goals number 1 Caoimhe O'Reilly of Parnells. Parnells very well represented on the team today. Number 2 Niamh O'Brien of Parnells. Playing at full back, wearing number 17 Ruan Hunt of Holloway Gales. Number 4 Nicole Mulholland of Parnells. Number 5, Niamh Walsh, Parnells. Number 6, Ellen O'Brien of Parnells. And number 18, Renee Murphy, the captain of Parnells as well. Moving to midfield, we have number 19, Josephine Quinn of Parnells, and she's joined by Beatrice Casey, wearing number 3 of Father Murphy's. Number 10, Hannah Lydon of Thomas McCurtain's. Number 11, Hannah Noonan, Parnells. Number 12, Emma Mulhern of Holloway Gales. And then the full forward line, number 13, Rebecca Mills of Parnells. Number 14, Aisling Cunningham of Parnells. And rounding it off, another Parnells representative, number 15, Amy Chauvelin. And then to round off with the substitutes today, Lydia Kenny, Clean Tuhig, Emer Alcorn, Ailish Healy, Breed Vercoo, Cara Usher, Katrina McGahan, Martha Jordan, and Cora Craven as well. And we'll just pause now for our on Navian. National anthem playing out here at Gaelic Park in Edenderry. I'm joined on co-commentary today by Katie Keogh. Katie, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
You're no member of this panel, usually out with injury at the moment. What's keeping you out of action at the moment?
My back, I've had compressed nerves in my back, and so it's been about a year and a half since I last played. So I just got surgery a few weeks ago. So probably be next year again before I'm out.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
difficult, especially on a day like this, to kind of be on the sidelines looking out on a perfect day for football. How would you assess Offaly's form so far?
So far, I think we've seen huge improvements in the panel. First of all, even the players that have come back in the last 2 years. I think just in general, training, everything's improved. I think unfortunately it's not reflected maybe in the games. Even this year, I think they were unfortunate. Obviously, the good win against Carlow, unfortunate then against Limerick. So I personally, anyway, I'm biased like that. They should have been winning them, but I do think overall, I think we see improvements, maybe not reflected in all the results. And
it's difficult as well in the sense that, you know, 2 key players as well that have been without in the sense of Mairead Daly and Kate Kenny as well, who are in action up in Croke Park today for St. Rynas in the All-Ireland Intermediate Club Camogie final. They would be huge additions come the championship and even the latter stages of the league if they can make the semi-finals.
Exactly. They'll be a great addition once they're back.
In terms of London, this is their first time taking part in the league since the pre-pandemic times of 2019, and indeed very keen to get game time ahead of the championship as well. They're travelling over for all 3 of their games, and indeed that's why there's a little bit of an earlier start time today of 12:30, just to allow for travel arrangements for London to get back at a halfway reasonable hour this evening. But as mentioned there, Parnell's very heavily represented on the team, based up in the northwest of London, where there's a significant Irish community as well. I mentioned the permutations for today, so it is winner takes all for second place in the group. If there's a draw today, that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. Then it comes down to actually points scored on the first basis of this match today. So that is in the sense of points going over the bar. So if there still can't be separated at that point, then it goes to point difference across the group stages, and Offaly have the better score difference at this stage with plus 13 compared to London's -1. So Offaly had a little bit of an advantage at the moment today. In terms of conditions, there is a little bit of a slope here on this Eden Derry pitch, and the wind is also going in that favour, so there's certainly an advantage in that sense. I mean, I presume, have you played here much before in terms of Eden Derry and, you know, the pitch conditions? I mean, it does look like a lovely day out there at the moment.
Yeah, they're lucky with the day. I've played, I suppose, most of our club matches rather in county here, but it's grand. I've never minded playing on it. They're lucky as well with the day. We've definitely played league matches in worse. Yeah,
there's definitely not a significant breeze, but certainly a breeze blowing from right to left. As you're looking at the camera at the moment, the referee is Paul McCaughey of Westmeath of the Milltown Rathconrath club, and he's just about ready to get things underway here. The teams lining out as expected from this morning, albeit with a few numbers that are maybe a little bit out of joint with what you would normally expect of 1 to 15. I see number 14 for London, Aisling Cunningham, is lining out in the middle of the field at the moment alongside Beatrice Casey of Father Murphy. So a few positional switches at the moment. The referees also asked the London backroom team to move across to this side of the field here to get in underneath the stands at the moment. So we're a little bit behind time at the moment. Just giving a little bit of time here to the teams to get going. Smashing day it has been for the last 3 or 4 days really here across Ireland. Very clear, bright skies, albeit chilly, but there is a little bit of heat in the air today, so it really couldn't be better in terms of conditions for this winner-takes-all match in Division 4B of the Lidl National Ladies Football League. And we're underway. Paul McCaughey throwing in the ball, and straight away it is Offaly on the attack. Saoirse McGuinness lays it off to Aoife Carey, intercepted there by the midfielder. Beatrice Casey on the ball straight away. Laid off inside, a beautiful ball. Played inside and intercepted there very well by Imelda Fleming, who's making her way out. And number 12, who seems to be starting in a bit of a deep lying role, Saoirse McGuinness, is carrying the ball well across midfield at the moment, trying to pick out a teammate. And she does in the form of Orla Whelan. Orla Whelan being told to get back to her defensive position at the moment. Amy Gavin-Mangan still in control of the ball, lost it briefly. Plays it forward here to Ellie McAvoy. Carries inside, looking for support and lays off a lovely pass there. And in on goal. Oh, an excellent save there by Caoimhe O'Reilly. The shot coming in from Sarah Doyle of Ballinamere Durrow, who had the final shot. The attack still not over. Ellie McAvoy has it back again. And Sarah Doyle, the referee has called, I think, for a throw ball. Not entirely. Can you make out?
It looked like a throw ball. I don't think she brought the hand back.
Yeah, and so a little bit of a let off there for London. An excellent save by Caoimhe O'Reilly there in the London goal. A point blank save, you'd have to say. And Offaly now a little bit of the upper hand, despite playing up a bit of a slope here at this Edenderry pitch here in Gaelic Park. Sarah Doyle on the ball. She's very involved in the early stages of this match. Offaly on the attack. London back in good numbers though so far. That's broken down well by the London defence, and it's laid off here now to Niamh Walsh, one of the many Parnell's representatives on this London team today. Number 19, Josephine Quinn, lays it off here to Emma Mulhern. They're good defending here by Offaly, making it very difficult for London to make any tracks here. Niamh Walsh carrying the ball now, lays it off to Rebecca Mills. Rebecca Mills, and they're trying to build from just outside the 45 at the moment. Rebecca Mills laying it off across the field. Was a bit of a 50-50 ball there now. Amy Gavin-Mangan covering back. And Offaly trying to rebuild in this early stages of this game in Division 4B. Emma Hand, plenty of time here to collect the ball, looking for an option. Plays in a nice pass, but London have that well covered in the left corner. Amy Chauvelin there in a defensive position, covering well. Named at number 15, but seems to be playing at left corner back so far anyway. Ellen O'Brien now on the ball. Offaly tackling very well here. London struggling to get out of their own full back line. They've found a little bit of space now on the right hand side of the field. Now London might be able to find a bit more space. That's blocked down again and collected here by Emma Maher. Lays it off to Aoife Carey's now on the attack, crosses the 45. Lays it off here now to Ellie McAvoy. It's been stood up well there by Nicole Mulholland, who's on her at the moment. Carrying into attack now, Ciara Walsh. And it's kicked over the bar there. That's a very good score. That was Saoirse McGuinness there, number 12, I believe, got the shot away. So Offaly off the mark there. A very positive start there, you'd have to say, Katie, by Offaly.
Yeah, it's a quick start. I think in general the ball's moving fast. Yeah, it's been tight. The London defence, in fairness, is impressive, so they were lucky to get that score. It was a good start for us, yeah. London
struggling to get possession really in the early stages. Offaly collecting again, and they're on the attack once more. It's laid off inside to Emma Hand, but it's collected, a little bit of a loose pass. London trying to get out of this defensive position. That's a well played hand pass up here now to Niamh Walsh. Niamh Walsh lays it off to Emma Mulhern. London trying to rebuild here. Ellen O'Brien sitting back almost as a playmaker at the moment. Referee was playing a bit of an advantage there, so London have a chance to reset in this early stage. About 5 minutes into this clash here in Edenderry, Offaly leading by a single point, 1 point to no score. Offaly again breaking down that London attack very, very quickly. Played inside here to Ciara Walsh. Ciara Walsh lays it off. And that is a little bit of a drag back there by the London defender, so Offaly have a good chance here to tag over another score. Ellie McAvoy looking for the short pass. Gets it back quickly. Might have a chance here now to get a shot off. Breaks past the defender though. Liz, another dummy. Oh, that was a terrific bit of skill there by Ellie McAvoy, and then finally got the shot away off her left foot. Offaly leading by 2 points to score, 2 points to no score. Ellie really standing out so far here, Katie.
Yeah, she's a great player to have in full forward, and a lot of balls targeted in towards her. And even with, you can see a London defender, kind of two of them even sitting around her, she's still managing to get by.
Yeah.
She can also use both feet, which is obviously an advantage.
She obviously has a reputation preceding her that she's already been targeted with the second defender for the odd time.
Yeah.
Once again, London's attack breaking down around midfield, but they do win the ball back there. That was a very good defensive play there. And now London finally have a little bit of possession, but I must say the Offaly defending has been terrific so far. The tackling, they have very little time on the ball, and indeed they've been forced into a mistake there, London, once again. Saoirse McGuinness gets the ball into the forward line very, very quickly. Emma Hand has it now. Lays it off to Sarah Doyle with a very strong kick, and that has the distance. An absolutely terrific store there by Sarah Doyle. And Offaly leading now by 3 points to no score, and London have barely had the ball inside of the attacking 45. Offaly off to a terrific start here. That was a very well taken score.
That was an excellent kick. Didn't expect her range to be as far, in fairness.
And as I mentioned, Offaly playing against what elements there are. It is a light enough breeze, but it does seem to be going against them, and indeed playing up a bit of a breeze. The referee has given a yellow card there. I'll try and pick out the number. Seems to be indicating that it was for a high tackle. So she's forced to leave the field now. I'll try and pick out the number here very, very quickly. Again, a long kick out there by Caoimhe O'Reilly. It was number 17, Ruan Hunt, who has received that yellow card, now off the field. Ellie McAvoy turns her defender once more, and that is a fantastic finish off the left-hand upright. Gave the goalkeeper absolutely no chance, and Offaly are making hay in the very early stages here. Now 1-3 to no score. Ellie really does seem to have this London defence figured out so far anyway, Katie.
She has them rattled in there, yeah, and it's great, I suppose, for herself, kind of one score, and she's building on that. Seems the whole, in fairness, all of Offaly are building on that momentum as well.
Absolutely, and I mean, Offaly again on the attack and could be in for another goal this time around. That one's actually skewed off the right boot. I think that was in by Aoife Carey that time. An excellent chance that was put in front of her and was bearing down on goal. Probably could have taken another couple of yards really to get a better shot off, but a bit of a let off there for London, who really need to get into this game quickly or they could be out of the running. London have got a free now at this stage and a little bit of a chance to rebuild. Hannah Noonan there, who has won that free. Looking for options now. Now playing with 14. And the referee trying to bring that back. Don't think the players were the requisite distance away from the ball. London looking for some way to get on the score sheet and try and build a bit of confidence into this game. That's played in the direction of Hannah Noonan once more. Saoirse McGuinness there going a little bit robust, but London have been given the free. And the referee is Paul McCaughey, and he's having a chat now with Saoirse McGuinness. She might be reprimanded herself. He's laying down the law at an early stage. And that's a yellow card as well, so another sin binning here. What was your own take on that, Katie? Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't think I've seen a yellow card for that kind of foul. I know it is probably a serious enough foul, yeah, but I thought maybe she'd just get a booking or a warning for that.
London on the attack now, but it's broken down once more. That time it was Emer Nally mopping up the loose possession and now carrying it forward. It's number 10, Avi Gavin Mangan, starting in a much deeper position, lays in a lovely pass inside. Offaly player in And that is Ciara Walsh was in possession, just looking for a bit of support. But it's Sarah Doyle there that was fouled. Ellen O'Brien again kind of pushing from the back. Ellie McAvoy a little bit too far out really to take on a shot, is looking for a bit of support. There's lots of London players back. I think I can count all bar one now back in their own 45, trying to stem this Offaly attack. And the referee, I don't think the player was far enough back that time, Ellie McAvoy, to collect that pass. So London given a bit of a reprieve once more. Emma Mulhern, that's intercepted once again by Offaly. Ellie McAvoy is on the attack now, lays it off inside to Sarah Doyle. She has an option here over her shoulder. Amy Gavin-Mangan has collected it. It was a little bit of a loose pass, but Offaly still with a chance maybe to get a shot off here. Aoife Carey has the ball. And he was playing the advantage for a little bit of a drag back. So an excellent chance here now for Offaly to get their 4th point to go with the goal that they already have as well. And they're building up a strong lead here in the early stages in Eden Derry. About 12 minutes gone on the clock here. Still water breaks in the league stages of the National Football League as well. So that'll be coming up very shortly. Give the two teams a chance to regroup. And that's struck over the bar very nicely by Ellie McAvoy. I think that's 1 goal and 2 points now for Ellie McAvoy, who's causing all sorts of trouble for the London full back line at the moment. Rebecca Mills now on the ball for London, looking for support, and finds it in the form of Niamh Walsh. Collects it at left half back, lays it off now inside. Emma Mulhern now on the ball. I beg your pardon, Niamh O'Brien that was on the ball there that time. She kicks it forward, but straight to an Offaly player. That time around it was Emer Nally who collected the loose ball, but London now have a bit of a chance to build, but taken down, and the referee wants to have a word here with Emer Nally. It was a tad on the cynical side. London, if they broke through that tackle, might have been in for a very good chance at their first score of the game. Paul McCaughey, and another yellow card. So 3 in the space of about 5 minutes there. And that ball is laid off very quickly inside. Aisling Cunningham lays it off. And that time around, London have finally got their first score of the game. And that will be a nerve settler, and it was Emma Mulhern who collected from the good work of Cunningham there, and that was a much needed score there for London. The referee there, you know, is there kind of a need for these yellow cards at this stage, or what's your own reading of it?
Yeah, I think it's very early on for there to be 3 sin bins in a game. It's going to make a big influence on the game.
Certainly a bit of bite in this game for the first 15 minutes so far. Another loose challenge, and the referee has been called into action on many occasions here. This one resulting in a bit of a head knock here for Beatrice Casey, wearing number 3 for London of Father Murphy's. She needs a bit of time here to get reaccustomed. She's getting checked out at the moment, but seems to be okay to get started again. Offaly get the play going again though. Imelda Fleming, that's intercepted. London feeling that they might be getting a bit of a foothold in the game now. Rebecca Mills now with the ball. Offaly had her well shepherded there, but the referee spotted a foul, so London again with a chance to try and rebuild. Beatrice Casey has the ball, is going to be well to take the free, knocks it in long, but it's well collected there by the Offaly full back line, but they're hemmed in. Referee adjudges a pull back there. That was Becky Bryant who was hoovering up the ball there in the full back line. She plays it forward. Offaly trying to rebuild now again. Emma Hand is on the ball of Ballymere Durrow. She finds support on the left hand wing. Roisin Ennis, the captain, carrying the ball forward. Lays it off. Ellie McAvoy. She has it again. That's a terrific pass inside. And it's gone wide. Skewed again off the right hand foot of the right foot, rather, of Ciara Walsh, who had the ball there, but terrific pass again by Ellie McAvoy, who spotted that the goal chance was on and laid it on perfectly to Walsh, and unfortunately was reaching for it as she rounded the keeper, and that was a let-off again for London. Offaly creating very good goal chances, you'd have to say, though, Katie.
Excellent, yeah. In fairness, the forwards are doing a lot of work, both defending and attacking, so it's meant the pressure's off the back line as well, and we've had great chances for scores, so hopefully that continues.
Offaly rebuilding once more. This time it's Aoife Carey that's on the ball. Amy Gavin Mangan now. That's a lovely ball in as well, and she's found Ellie McAvoy once more, tries to turn her defender, she lays it off, and that goal comes around this time. It was the same duo have linked up this time around. Ciara Walsh collecting from Ellie McAvoy, and this time she made no difference off her, or made no mistake off her right foot, finishing past Caoimhe O'Reilly in the London goal, and that is another huge body blow really to London. Amy Chauvelin here now on the ball, named at 15 but playing very much in the back line. Now have Hannah Lydon, who's on the ball, lays it off here to Rebecca Mills, again another player that's playing in a very much a deep role. She plays a lovely ball forward, but unfortunately I think the sideline is going to come a little bit too quickly that time for, let's see the number, I think it was Emma Mulhern who was trying to chase down that ball on the far right hand sideline. A nice crowd here in Eden Derry, taking advantage of the lovely March sunshine so far, and the predominantly obviously Offaly crowd will be very pleased with how things are going so far. 2-4 to 1 point on the 17-minute mark here so far. Offaly again on the attack. Mangan has the ball. That's broken down. He's looking for a bit of support, but London defending well, and they have a chance to clear their lines once more. I think the referee might be calling for the first sin binning that number 17, Ruan Hunt, her sin binning has expired, and she'll be coming back onto the pitch. Indeed, 3 sin binnings, in case you're coming to us late. 3 sin binnings in this game so far. Ruan Hunt was the first of those, and then Offaly losing 2 players of their own. So London now for another minute or two at a 2-player disadvantage. Offaly trying to rebuild though, London not taking advantage of those sin bins so far. Ellie McAvoy has the ball once more, looking for support on the left hand side of the pitch, but she will be able to get the shot off this time. That one skewed off the right boot and will be collected by London defender Niamh Walsh. Ellie McAvoy is actually on the ground now, the referee signalling that she picked up a little bit of a knock on her shoulder, I think. So the physio in to give some attention there. It doesn't feel really, Katie, like a 2-4 to 1 point game. I mean, there's Offaly certainly with the upper hand, but London will feel, I'm sure, that they can get back into this.
Definitely, and I think, like I said, it's a quick moving game, and I was worried there at London's speed at the start. I know Offaly are doing well to slow them down, but I wouldn't, if I was London, I wouldn't either be thinking you couldn't get back from that. We saw against Limerick, obviously, that they managed to crawl back as well from Offaly's lead, so you wouldn't know what would happen, and a lot of time to go yet.
Ellie McAvoy is back now, received a little bit of treatment, and London will have possession of the football in their own left corner back position. Niamh Walsh back to the keeper, Caoimhe O'Reilly, back to Walsh. She lays it off inside to Ellen O'Brien. Gets pinged for over-carrying there. Looked a tad harsh, but certainly was running out of options that time around. And the referee adjudging that Offaly should get possession back there that time around. Mangan with the ball, now back in her possession. It's a good run being made down the left-hand sideline, but Mangan collects back from McAvoy. Lays it off inside, but the attacker wasn't given much of an opportunity there. That looked like a bit of a tough challenge. The London sideline not too pleased with that decision. But
it did look like she jumped a bit into the tackle, so it's always a hard one then to judge.
It was a little bit of a 50-50, but I suppose the advantage being given to the team in possession. Just a talking to that time, I would think. And Ellie McAvoy will now stand over this free. Should be well within her range to try and tag on another point. Ellie of the Naomh Ciarán club, Furban and surrounding areas. Sarah McGuinness now is back on the field for Offaly. Her sin binning time has expired. It's actually Emma Hand who's going to stand over this, a better fit for a left-footed kicker from the right sideline. What wind is there is coming against her, so it's no gimme this. Well struck though. It's a little bit short, but I think there was an Offaly player in the square, and I think he's called a water break. It was a bit unfortunate from an Offaly point of view. I think he was right in saying there was a square ball, but the player didn't seem to be influencing the play. I know it doesn't matter, but it was probably an unnecessary infringement, really. I believe it was Ciara Walsh there that was in the square, but she wasn't really anywhere near the ball. So we're at 2 goals and 4 points now for Offaly to London's 1 point. Offaly playing against what little breeze there is. Certainly a very interesting first 15 or 20 minutes so far, considering you have 3 sin binnings as well. How would you judge how the first 20 minutes have gone?
It's been an interesting. A lot has happened in the first quarter of a game. I do think Offaly are working hard for their scores, which is always like it's they've gotten them and that's fine. But I think from a London perspective, they know that they can probably stop a few of those scores as well. So I would say it's still all to play for, and the next 15 I think will tell a lot if Offaly can keep up that the pressure they're putting on in general, and just not tire too early.
Absolutely.
And we'll see then what comes of London as well, what they can bring in the next while.
Ellie McAvoy certainly to the fore there in the forward line, but everyone really working well off of her. Like she's a terrific playmaker and well able to see, and she's getting great runs off the shoulder as well. I mean, there was a minute before the second goal, there was another good goal chance as well, and she picked out the runner. I think that was Ciara Walsh as well that time with a great pass too. So she's getting super support really off the shoulders as well, and the Offaly management must be very pleased with that. A win today for either of these teams will set up a Division 4B, a Division 4 rather, semi-final. Limerick can't be caught at the top. They will finish top of Division 4B regardless of the result against Carlow when they travel to Carlow this afternoon at 2 o'clock. So neither of these teams really needing to look at other results. That time around, Caoimhe O'Reilly and London given a little bit of a reprieve there. Certainly a foul, but it was a robust challenge, but Offaly were in with a sniff there of intercepting that pass. Beatrice Casey there, who's playing a lot of her game here in midfield, takes a bit of a knock, but she seems to be okay now to continue and gets back into position. Emer Nally has the ball in her hand now. Plays it forward back to Casey. Casey lays it off back to, I beg your pardon, Ellen O'Brien. Nicole Mulholland plays it forward, but once again Roisin Ennis is able to sweep up the ball. London playing a lot of ball forward into 50-50s and Offaly coming away with a lot of it so far. Aoife Carey has the ball now. Lays it off to Sarah Doyle. Emma Hand has it now. And London again, the referee picking up on an infringement. I think that was Beatrice Casey who gets pinged for that foul. All these frees mounting up and London struggling to really get out of their own 45 for huge swathes of this first half. Sarah Doyle plays it inside. Ciara Walsh turns her defender, gets the shot off, but once again it goes to the right and wide. There's been a few of those that have skewed off the right foot and gone to the right and wide. That's 3 wides, I make it now, for Offaly so far, and certainly all very scoreable ones too. Caoimhe O'Reilly now gets London back underway. Beatrice Casey playing a little bit deeper this time, trying to get involved in the play and get London going. Kicks that ball forward, but it's intercepted this time around. Saoirse McGuinness is on the attack. Roisin Ennis carried as well. This time around, Josephine Quinn back on the ball there. Hannah Lydon with the hand pass forward. Now Hannah Noonan has a little bit of space to run into. She's surrounded now, being hunted well there by Orla Whelan. Orla playing on her home ground here today. The referee not allowing that to take place quickly. Emer Nally has now served her 10-minute sin binning, so she goes back into position. I think that's both teams now back to their full 15. Meanwhile, Cliona Tuhig, the captain for London, she's coming onto the field now, the first substitution for London. And she's straight onto possession here. Quick turn of pace. Can she get the shot off? Looking for options. Kicks it across, but it goes to the left and wide. But you can see definite intent there from the substitute straight away. Cliona Tuhig was trying to find Aisling Cunningham, but just went to the left of the post and wide. Ennis plays it forward now to McGuinness. McGuinness doing lots of very good link-up play there around the middle of the field, covering a huge amount of ground. Mangan now doing likewise, playing very deep, but another terrific ball inside to a full forward line that's linking up very well. Ciara Walsh now on the ball. Carey now with it, and plays it inside to Emma Hand. Another run off the shoulder, this time Hand running into a bit of space. Can she get the shot off her left foot? And it has dropped in under the net. Another goal for Offaly. Emma Hand's shot there just dropping in under the crossbar of Caoimhe O'Reilly. It was at absolutely one of those heights that a goalkeeper always dreads, just dipping underneath the crossbar, and the keeper just couldn't get enough on it to tip it over. And Offaly have got a third goal, 3-4 to 1 point now in favour of Offaly. London trying to respond now as quickly as they can, but terrific defending there. Offaly trying to rebuild, but it's a loose enough pass. This time around it's Casey. Plays it into the right corner. Renee Murphy there was dragged back a little bit, and London have a free on the far right hand sideline, looking for support. It's Casey that's on the ball straight away, and Tuhig, the substitute. The pass was a little bit loose, and Offaly are able to step in and get the ball out the field. Amy Chauvelin on the ball, plays a nice pass inside to Emma Mulhern. Emma played again. Offaly just swarming very well, giving London no time whatsoever, and that is purely down to the Offaly defending there, you'd have to say, giving the London team absolutely no chance. And as good as Offaly have been in attack, this Offaly defence has been equally impressive today.
Yeah, very impressive. In fairness, they're getting everything that goes in there, so we haven't gotten to see much from the London forwards, but it's paid off for us.
Offaly might have a little bit of space here to work into. That was Sarah Doyle who's trying to get on the ball, but number 6, Ellen O'Brien, went through the back of her. Offaly have the chance now to be looking for another few scores to try and get themselves into an even more strong position heading into the second half, or heading into injury time now for the first half. Amy Chauvelin lays it off here to Niamh Walsh. Emma Mulhern. They're playing a lot of passes within their own half, but struggling to break through a really solid Offaly defence so far. Now Hannah Noonan has the ball and a bit of a chance to take on her defender. Again, finding it very difficult to get past Imelda Fleming that time around. Tuhig finds a bit of space inside here. Might be a chance of a goal here for London. Can they get the strike off? Trying to find the chance, and at the end another shot really that skewed off the right foot. And that's really unfortunate. London could have done with something heading in at half time. Was Hannah Noonan ended up with the ball, and at point blank range just seemed to come off the right of the boot and went wide. A real let off for Offaly that time, and one London could have done with. Offaly defender Nicole Buckley getting done for over carrying there. Ellen O'Brien picks up, tries to find a quick pass, and indeed she does. Emma Mulhern covering the ground and makes it inside the 14. Gets the shot off. A well taken score there by Emma Mulhern of Holloway Gales. London get their second point of this first half. Cliona Tuhig, since she came on, has certainly been very involved, and she's helped to win that ball back. London enjoying a period of dominance here. The shot was blocked down there by Rebecca Mills, but he was playing an advantage, so London with a good chance here now to get a third point. All of this building a little bit of confidence for London. They will need goals, you would assume, really at this stage. 3-4 playing 2 points. Hannah Noonan will be hoping to add over the third, and she does strike that well. That's the third point for London. 3-4 to 3 points now. I think the referee just calling a halt to allow the physio to get off the field. Not quite time for half time just yet. Emer Evans now kicking the ball out. Tullamore clubwoman. Out to the right hand sideline. Again, Cliona Tuhig is up trying to disrupt for London, but Offaly get the ball. Emma Maher. Emer Nally now, and is able to get a good ball in, looking for Ellie McAvoy. But it's well shepherded there by Nicole Mulholland. That will be a confidence boost heading into the second half if they can try and get some shackles on Ellie McAvoy. They'll be going some way to trying to get themselves back into this game. It's Tuhig on the ball again. Now she's around midfield. London will be looking to pick off one more score before the half-time break. Niamh Walsh now. Playing a little bit lateral here in midfield, trying to find an option further up the field. It's Tuhig. Looking for options. Josephine Quinn now. It's Hannah Noonan back on the ball, back to Tuhig. And again, a lack of options and also just terrific defending in general. Imelda Fleming that time with the block down. It's become a little bit loose now around midfield. London now on the attack. Noonan has found a bit of space here, approaching the 21-yard line, but a loose pass might work out. And that's a drag down. That was a little bit cynical there. Orla Whelan could be in trouble. Certainly if Beatrice Casey had got through that time around, it could have been a very good goal chance for London. The referee here, what decision has he got to make? It's another sin binning, and I don't think you can really have an argument with that one.
No, that one seems more justified than the other two, so I wasn't surprised at that one. Yeah, it's probably unnecessary out that far as well. It's quite a punishment. Was it a good one to take? I'm not sure, yeah. But it might have been enough covering defenders there. But Offaly again now short-handed, and Hannah Noonan has struck over another point. So London finishing strong in that half. I believe that was the last 3 points of the game. Hannah Noonan there knocking over another point, so that makes it 3-4 to 4 points in favour of Offaly.
Offaly playing with the breeze though in the second half, but certainly still all to play for in this game. It's a very competitive game, and the goals are the difference there on the page, but that can easily turn around.
Yeah, I think we've seen a different game there the last even 10 minutes. I think it has changed. London have stepped it up. I don't know, is that awfully tiring a bit? The same pressure wasn't on here in the forward line, and so more ball was getting into those London forwards. So yeah, it's a big change. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams start out.
Absolutely.
In the next half.
So 3-4 to 4 points here at half time. We'll be back again very shortly with the second half coverage. Welcome back here to Gaelic Park in Edenderry. 3-4 to 4 points in favour of Offaly in this Division 4B group stage game. Essentially a quarter-final in many regards. The winner of this game will secure second place in the group, and indeed a semi-final spot in Division 4 as well. I'm joined on co-commentary today by Offaly footballer Katie Keogh as well. Offaly certainly with the better of that first half, but London finishing strong, kicking the last 3 points of the game, so they'll be hoping to try and build on that. The introduction of Cliona Tuhig certainly seemed to make a difference there when she came on in the latter stages of the second half. Offaly playing with the aid of a bit of a breeze, not much, and also with the topography here as well in Edenderry. London picking up the early free. Straight away onto the ball is Aisling Cunningham trying to find Hannah Noonan inside, but Offaly mop up that ball as they did for so many portions of that first half as well. That's played well inside to Emma Hand, but she misjudges it. Cunningham has the ball back in her hands again. She's playing in midfield now from the start of this second half. Inside to Beatrice Casey. She lays it off well inside to Hannah Noonan. The London-born Hannah Noonan makes it inside, lays off the pass. There might be a goal chance on here. This time around it is Hannah Lydon who got the shot away, but like so many of the shots in the first half, kind of skewed off the right boot and goes off to the right and hand side and wide. But a promising start to the second half for London. We'll be hoping to tag on another couple of scores here to get themselves back into contention here. 3-4 to 4 points is quite a lead to surmount, but it is only 3 scores at the end of the day. Cliona Tuhig now back on the ball as she was for huge portions of that at the latter stages of the first half when she came on the field. Renee Murphy carrying the ball, trying to bring added purpose into this London attack, but well defended there by Mangan. This time it's Hannah Noonan picks up the ball. A lot of the good London play surrounding what Hannah does there. Beatrice Casey now has it. Is stood up very well there. That's a little bit of a tug there from Imelda Fleming. And Beatrice Casey now has the ball and is looking for her options, and she finds it in the form of Rebecca Mills. Lays it back out to Casey. Hannah Noonan now coming onto the ball, and a terrific save there by Emer Evans. She got a good clean contact on it there, Noonan, but it was fairly well down the centre of the goal, and it still had to be dealt with by Emer Evans, and she knocks it out for a 45 in favour of London. But London starting off the second half as they finished the first, Katie, they'll be pleased enough, but trying to get some scores on the board.
Yeah, definitely. They're a different team then than most of the first half they played. They've found their place now. I mean, Offaly starting off with 14 players as well for the next nearly 10 minutes, so it's probably a bad place for us to start too. So hopefully they hold them off anyway for the next while. Certainly
London looking to take advantage, but it's a loose pass there by Tuhig. Mangan now carrying forward, looking for options. And that's well taken there by Emma Hand. Ballinamere Duro, she's still in possession of it. Lays a lovely ball looking for Ellie McAvoy, and she will collect, trying to turn her defender, gets inside, and it does go over the bar. And after all London's very good work to start off that second half, it's Offaly who get the first score. Ellie McAvoy finishing well there.
I think they needed that score now just to get them back into it, so hopefully they kick on from that.
That will be a frustration really for London, you have to say, doing a lot of good work and a couple of good scoring chances, but it's Offaly who on their first attack really of the second half that get the opening score to make it 3-5 now to 4 points. Beatrice Casey, who's been on the ball plenty, carries it forward. And again, another loose hand pass there. Emer Nally mopping up. And she's found Saoirse McGuinness. McGuinness has plenty of room to run into, lays it off to McAvoy. looking to get it onto her left foot. Also looking for a runner, I guess, but she's still carrying. And that is a super finish from Ellie McAvoy. Her second point in quick succession. Makes it 3-6 to 4 points now. And she's causing huge trouble, and she seems to be a threat off both feet as well.
Yeah, that's where the 2 feet played out there, where she could drag the defenders to the left and then just turn quickly onto her right. So it's a huge advantage.
London now really in need of a response. A lot of the good work of the last 10 minutes or so being undone by those 2 points. But a good run off the shoulder here by Niamh Walsh. Finds Tuhig, and she is given the free there. A bit of a loose boot, trying to control the ball there by an Offaly defender, and London given the opportunity here to get a point from a free and try and get their first point here in the second half. Hannah Noonan stands over this, and that we're right behind that. That's very tight, but it was a point. Offaly contingent here arguing that, but we really couldn't have had a better view, and I think it just about did squeeze inside the upright that time. Carrying the ball forward now, Emma Maher on the far right hand sideline, lays it off inside to Mangan, who's covered a huge amount of ground in this match. Lays it off inside to McGuinness. I beg your pardon, to Sarah Doyle that was on the ball that time. McAvoy back on the ball once more, causing a huge threat, and off the left boot, off the upright. Offaly trying to collect the loose ball. London in dire need of it. And Amy Chauvelin managed to get over the ball and wins herself a free. Caoimhe O'Reilly kicks it straight to Ellie McAvoy. McAvoy bearing down on goals, and she told to play on, was looking for the free. The referee didn't want to give anything, and once again lets the play go on. It'll be interesting to see how, certainly getting a bit vocal here on both sides in the last minute or so. Still a player on the ground there. The referee deciding that it didn't warrant a free, and London were left to play on that time. And now the play is stopped to get some attention there. Is that Ciara Walsh, I think? Might be down on the ground. She did collect, was in the process of collecting the ball and seemed to be challenged. It was borderline free. What was your reading of it?
I would have called the free. Yeah, I think it was a bit, not a good call there. I think she had a clear slap to the face and it was right in front of the rest.
Yeah,
I don't know how he missed that one.
She's getting a good bit of attention down there at the moment. Certainly the Offaly contingent here weren't happy with that decision. No. The physio still on the field here. She does seem to be rubbing her face. It does seem to have been a contact with the face there in some fashion. The referee deciding it didn't warrant any action. London now in possession of the ball. Ellen O'Brien has it. Looking for options here once the referee blows his whistle to get it restarted. She finds an option in Chauvelin on the left-hand side of the field. Carries it forward. Ellie McAvoy back in a defensive mode, and terrific tackling there. Referee not willing to blow the whistle in the last few minutes. Definitely don't think it was warranted that time. It was good defending there by McAvoy, and London trying to break into the Offaly half with purpose now. Renee Murphy there carrying. She was dragged back. She lays it off here to Noonan. Noonan lays it off inside to Casey. A lot of the good work London are doing revolving around Casey, really. Noonan lays it off once more to Casey. And Tuhig now running onto on the left-hand side. Gets the shot away, and that is a goal that London badly needed. And you have to say, Cliona Tuhig, since she came on in the latter stages of the first half, has made a huge difference since she came on. And that is a goal that will really rally the troops here for London. They need to build on it, but it does make it 3-6 now to 1-5. That was a very well taken goal.
That was,
one
I think,
that London badly needed.
Yeah, I think she knew what she was doing, and she, like you said, she's been a huge influence on the game, closing that gap definitely.
London making a substitution here. Number 27, Katrina McGahan of the Parnells club is coming on, and that is number 10, Hannah Lydon, who exits the action. It's going straight into the edge of the square, really, Katrina McGahan. Offaly have the ball just inside their own half. It's Mangan who has the ball, looking for options, and that was not the right option to take on. Ellen O'Brien brings it forward. Can London build? Lays it off inside here. Noonan. There's an added zip to the London play now after that goal. Noonan inside to Beatrice Casey, who's making, and that one, there was a bit of a Gary Owen there. It didn't cover much ground, but will be difficult for Offaly to defend. That was the London substitute straight into the action there, but I think conceded a free in pretty much our first action of the game. Orla Whelan getting ready to go back into the action now after her sin binning at the end of the first half. That's a good clearance there, and Offaly have a bit of room to work with here now. Aoife Carey on the ball. Launches a long one in, but Chauvelin, who's been on the ball a good bit in that London full back line, collects once more and clears, looking for Emma Mulhern, and she has turned her defender there. Mulhern looking for support, and she doesn't really have it at the moment. Is forced to turn back to Cliona Tuhig. Once again, struggling to find options, really. The coach is in front of us, eager to not see them waste the ball, looking to pick out the right pass. This time looking for Noonan, but the pass is a little bit misplaced. Mangan collects for Offaly. Saoirse McGuinness there finds Imelda Fleming. A lot of bodies there in the middle third of the field. Mangan on the ball once more, lays it off inside looking for Sarah Doyle, but that is mopped up once more by Chauvelin, who's playing a sweeper in many ways back there, getting on a huge amount of ball. London struggling to really get out of their own half at the moment. Offaly's played that bit more direct. Noonan lays it off nicely there to Rebecca Mills. Noonan gets ready to collect here once more, and she does. Lays it off inside to Beatrice Casey, who's making the run from midfield. She's in need of support and finds it in Noonan. Then it's laid off back to Noonan. Could be a goal on here, and it is finished. Noonan central to the play, laid it off to Casey, and it was Aisling Cunningham who finished it with a ground stroke really there into the corner of the net. And London are right back in this game, Katie. Yeah, right back in it. They've closed the gap. That was quick thinking for that score. It was a good finish. So they've put a lot of pressure on Offaly in the last few minutes since the end of the first half. So it was 3-4 to 1 point at one stage, and now we're at 3-6 to 2-5. Offaly straight back on the attack. They could do with a score here to try and settle themselves, and they have found it in the form of Emma Hand. A well taken score. She sold the dummy there and then got the strike away on her left foot. A well taken score, and one Offaly needed to settle the nerves there during this period of London dominance. Substitution being made here in front of us. That's 23. Marie Byrne of St. Conleth's is going to enter the action. And a bit of a rejigging going on here for the Offaly defence. Number 15, Ciara Walsh, seems to be moving into a deeper position, and it is number 9, Aoife Carey, who leaves the field. Caoimhe O'Reilly gets the play underway for London. And that one is going to skew off the right boot and out of play. Emer Nally now gets the play restarted. She finds Emma Maher, who finds Mangan, who's carrying the ball. Covering great ground again, Mangan, but is running into a little bit of a cul-de-sac, but recycles it well here. Emma Hand, who got the last point. Again, good London defending. Offaly struggling to find space. Falls into a dangerous position. And it was Marie Byrne who was straight into the action there, was sniffing out a goal chance, but London were able to survive that time. Rebecca Mills now carrying from a deep position. Plays it into Cunningham. Again, that's good direct play here from London. Finds the substitute here. McGahan. She was definitely fouled there. London finding a bit more space that time in a direct counter-attack from Offaly's own attack there. And might be against a little bit of a stiffling breeze. It could be an ask to knock this one over. Indeed, she does go short. Tries to find McGahan, but it's well defended there. Argument for over-carrying there that time, but the Offaly defender gets away with it. And the ball squirts off the field there, and Offaly are going to get the play restarted. 3-7 plays 2-5. Reminder, the winner of this game qualifies second from Division 4B. If it ends in a draw, it'll come down to points scored, and indeed it does. We're at the water break now at the moment. 3-4 to 2-5. London certainly with the better there of that third quarter. 2-1 in their favour to Offaly's 3 points. What's your own reading of it at the moment? I mean, it does make for a very interesting final quarter now. Yeah,
it definitely does. I don't think, unfortunately, our history doesn't show that we tend to finish as strong. Sometimes we're better starting strong, so just hope that they hold out and keep the lead, I suppose. Obviously, you've seen against Limerick, they got late goals and that was the end of it, but hopefully that's not the case today. I think the Marie Byrne now coming in, she's a forward you want on your side, and it's great for the girls here coming on. Hopefully she can get some scores in there as well. But London, yeah, they've picked it up. There's a lot of pace in them. They looked the fitter team the last while as well, which is what I'd worried about when Offaly were so fast in the first half that they tire quickly. But hopefully now they just get another wind in them and finish strong as well. But it's going to be an interesting few minutes. They were finding kind of more direct, a bit more space in the last few minutes as well, and getting the ball forward. And it seems when Offaly get the numbers back, they find it very, very hard to break through them, that when they move the ball quickly, they're finding a bit more joy that way. Yeah. The play getting ready to resume, all the players returning to their positions. So the permutations, if it's a draw, it'll go to points scored, so everything except goals essentially. If that's the same, then it'll go to score difference across the group, which is in Offaly's favour. So London certainly with the need to win, not just draw really here today, unless they can get more points than Offaly. That's a strong kick down the field, and Shovlin, who's been hugely influential at the back, tries to break it down, but McAvoy has it along the left sideline. Takes on her marker, cuts inside on the right boot, and finds Ciara Walsh. Is bearing down on goal, and that could go a long way to settling this game. Ciara Walsh, she had a very good goal chance in the first half off her right foot that skewed wide, but this time she made no mistake. That was a terrific finish. That was, yeah. No, it's a great start now for Offaly in this quarter. It's what they needed. More good work really by McAvoy, and we mentioned the threat off both feet that time around, threatening to kick off her right foot, but managed to find Ciara Walsh inside, and that makes it now 3-7 to 2-5. Excuse me, 4-7 to 2-5 now. So a real mountain to climb now for London, with time not on their side. But they have shown resilience so far in this game, and they go on the attack once more. Beatrice Casey
at the centre of a lot of London's good work today. But again, very good, tough Offaly defending there. And they managed to get the ball away. Nicole Buckley this time around. And Offaly's forwards finding a huge amount of space as London are forced to go into attack. Mangan coming forward. McAvoy back into Mangan. There could be another goal on here. And it tried to place it inside the right-hand upright, but just to the right of that post. Queeve O'Reilly coming under pressure there, and that's probably what we're going to see as London push forward. Offaly will find a bit more space in the forward line.
Yeah, that's it, I suppose. In London, they have to push forward and get those scores. They don't have too much time left.
And a London player, one of their backs, getting a bit of treatment. That's Nicole Mulholland, going down with a little bit of cramp, it looks like. So the play halted here for a moment. The weather absolutely perfect really here for football. The first game of the day in today's action in the final stage of group games in the Lidl National Ladies Football League. Overall, is it a case, have Offaly kind of built on the first two performances here today, or how do you assess compared to previous results and displays?
I think they must have. The team itself today has changed. They've changed it up, and I think it's a good sign when a team do that, and knowing that things maybe weren't working for them in different positions in the first two games. So Ciara Walsh just said she hadn't actually gotten much game time, if any, in the last two games, and obviously she's been doing well at training to start her, and she's obviously made a great influence today on today's game. So different changes they've obviously built on them if they're looking at changing up those positions. So it's paid off for them.
And still with the likes of Mairead Daly and Kate Kenny as well to come back in once their St. Rynagh's commitments end today at Croke Park. And the best of luck to them as St. Rynagh's take on Salthill Knocknacarra in the All-Ireland Club Camogie final. That taking place at 2 o'clock. The play just about to get restarted here. That London defender there, Nicole Mulholland, is able to continue. Seems to be going down with a little bit of cramp there, but seems to be moving freely now. Cliona Tuhig was trying to be picked out there, but Ellie McAvoy was able to intercept, is bearing down on goal. There was a bit of a tug back there, and there was a bit of an advantage being played there for sure. Tuhig had a chunk of McAvoy's jersey. I think she was trying to fist it over the bar, but it didn't have the distance on it, so McAvoy now will have a chance to knock over another score. This one should be within her range for sure. And you have to say that Ciara Walsh goal just after the second half water break has taken a little bit of the sting out of this London comeback. Ellie McAvoy there with another point. 4-8 now to 2-5. A 9-point deficit for London to try and surmount. Beatrice Casey collects the ball. Has 3 Offaly defenders around her. Martha Jordan now on the field for London. Offaly back on the attack, but it's mopped up well there by Ellen O'Brien, looking for options. Casey kicks the ball forward and finds Tuhig. A little bit of space here to work into for London. Niamh Walsh now on the ball. Back to Rebecca Mills. That was half blocked and collected there by Fiona Dempsey, who's also on the field now. Mangan collects, looking for options. Still running. Why not? And gets the strike away, and you have to say, for all the good work that she's done today, she deserves that point.
Yeah, excellent score. Yeah, she's been a great runner. She doesn't often get a score at the end of it. She's more a playmaker in the middle of the field. But she's easily, as you saw, she can run past players, so it's great to have her on the end of that.
There's a lot of players in that Offaly forward line that are well able to take a score from far out the field.
Yeah, I know it makes a big difference when you have 6 forwards and more like Amy in midfield there that can score. So London restarting here, and time very much going against them now at this stage.
Chauvelin, who's performed well in the back line despite wearing number 15. Looking for options once more. Struggling to get out, and again a case of very good, strong but fair tackling by Offaly here today. Ellen O'Brien are struggling to make it out at around 45 this time around. Offaly seem to have weathered the early second half storm. And they've given a little bit of a reprieve there by the referee, but they really need to get in a hurry now. Time going against them, and unless they can get a couple of goals, it looks like Offaly will secure second place in this group. Emer Nally there was able to mop that ball up, and Offaly back on the attack again. Saoirse McGuinness has it. Emma Maher back into McAvoy. Plays the ball in low in front of Sarah Doyle, who takes on an ambitious effort. Didn't have the distance there and tumbles out to the left of the post and wide. London travelling here all on the one day, flying in this morning and flying back again this evening. I'm very keen to give a shout out to their sponsors, the JRL group, who are funding all these trips across for the National Ladies Football League. A few more substitutions coming in now. Number 23 for London, Ailish Healy of the Kerry Kingdom Gaels comes on in place of number 3. That was Beatrice Casey, who's got through a mountain of work really in the middle of the field. London now really need to get the ball forward as quickly as possible. It's Tuhig, a block down once more. This time Fiona Dempsey plays it forward. Now Marie Byrne. McAvoy has it once more, takes on her defender. And oh, that drops, and it could be another goal. Oh, terrific save. That was a brilliant save there by Caoimhe O'Reilly. It was a case of another shot from McAvoy that just dipped into the most awkward of positions for the goalkeeper. And O'Reilly was able to make a brilliant save from the follow-up there. And that really would have been game over if a fifth goal had been conceded there by London. But they're really, really struggling to create scoring opportunities now. London. Offaly have put the squeeze on them high up the field, giving them very little time on the ball. They do find a little bit of space this time around, but very good defending there by Roisin Ennis, and she does win the ball back and finds support there in Emma Hand as well. Excellent defending there by Ennis. Mangan is back on the ball again, attacking the defence. That one's going to go out to the right and wide, but she was given an advantage for I think a little bit of a tug back there that time, so allows Offaly to run down a little bit more clock. Offaly seem to have really taken the sting out of the London resurgence. They
did, yeah. In fairness, they weren't long coming back now, and that water break after that break, they came back now with a bang.
So Ellie McAvoy is going to stand over this. With the aid of a breeze, she might just have the distance on this one. Looks like she's lining up for a shot. Goes out to the left and wide. Caoimhe O'Reilly now will get us restarted. They're in a battle against time at this point. 4 goals and 9 points to 2 goals and 5. And Offaly back in the hunt for a 5th goal. But the point is taken there that time by Marie Byrne. A loose kick out there that time, and Byrne took full advantage. Could have taken on the goal, but decided that a point was the better option there that time around. Offaly's opponents, likely opponents at this stage, you would have to say, that will become clear in the Division 4A final group fixtures this afternoon. I believe all 4 teams in that group in with a chance still of qualifying out of that group. Carrying the ball forward now, Emma Hand lays it off inside. That was Emer Nally that was fouled there. Looked like she could have been fouled that time around, but the referee decides that, I presume, overcarrying that time around, so London able to restart. Emma Mulhern on the ball, finds Ellen O'Brien. Rebecca Mills unable to collect that one. Offaly able to attack once more. Mangan finds Marie Byrne looking for a second point, but was unselfish there, trying to find McAvoy. Another foul there in favour of London. Niamh Walsh looking for support. She was dragged back there. London really struggling to find territory in these last 10 minutes or so. They have 4 players inside their attacking half at the moment, but they're struggling to get the ball into them. Chauvelin breaking through the tackles, has a bit of support on the left hand side, but holds onto the ball. Tuhig offering herself up here to collect possession, finds a bit of space to run into, plays the ball in front of the substitute McGahan, who turns her defender, makes good ground, lays it off, goes collect a 1-2. Oh, off the left hand upright. A goal there might have given them a little bit of hope, but you have to say she has made a difference since coming on. McGahan. It's terrific acceleration there.
It was good form play. It is very disheartening now not to get a score at the end of it.
It's really goals are what's required for London at the moment if they're to salvage this. But it does goes to show the quality that they do have in the forward line when they can manage to get the ball into them, but they're really finding it difficult to get through this Offaly middle third. It's been that way really all the game. Chauvelin now has a little bit of space to run into. Can she find support? She does in the form of Noonan. She's given an advantage there. Another substitution here for London. 2 substitutions indeed. 22, Emer Alcorn of the Tyrconnell Gales, and number 25, Breed Verku of Thomas McCurtains. They enter the field. Aisling Cunningham, one of those coming off, number 14 for London, and as well as that, I think it's number 5, Niamh Walsh. 2 Parnell's women exit the action here. And there's another sin binning there this time around. That's Emma Hand this time around. I think that's a 4th now for Offaly in this game. Was that for this free here?
She wasn't on the end. I have a feeling it was for Mountain maybe.
Right.
She wasn't close to that play, so I'm not entirely sure though. She doesn't look happy with it anyway.
Yeah, trudges off the field that time around. I'm not sure if there'll be time for her to come back on at this stage. Looks like the hard work is done at this point anyway. London trying to finish on a high, and indeed they did in the first half. They managed to force their way back into the game with the last 3 points of the first half, but they need a bit more than that this time around. Ellen O'Brien plays it into Noonan, turns her defender, gets support there from Mills. She finds the substitute. That's Breed Verku who was on the ball there. Ellen O'Brien now plays it across the field to Chauvelin. Plays a nice ball in there for Tuhig, but is well defended there. Saoirse is, I think it was a substitute, number 19, did a very good shepherding job there on Tuhig. McGahan now inside has been causing a lot of trouble since she came on. A huge amount of pace, and she does draw the foul. Noonan now has a chance to take on this shot. You'd wonder, will it be dropped around the square to try and force a green flag? Substitutions here for Offaly. Number 26, Anna Grehan, Number 21, Anne-Marie McCormick, enter the field. Both sides emptying the benches now this afternoon. Offaly can look forward to a league semi-final now. Number 3 for Offaly, Orla Whelan, one of those who picked up a sin binning. She's one of those to exit the fray this time around. Noonan plays it short, trying to force a goal opportunity. She carries, finds McGahan. Back to Noonan, and Offaly snuffed that chance out very well. O'Brien has it now, and that could roll out a play, but no. Good battling there by London. Plays it back here to McGahan. London sideline calling for a foul there, but they don't get it. Breed Veraku finding it very difficult there to get any change out of the Offaly backline, and indeed that's how it ends. Offaly are through to the semi-finals of the Division 4 of the Lidl National Ladies Football League. Excellent game here, you have to say. London, maybe, Offaly, flattered slightly maybe by the final scoreline. You have what, four goals and 10 points, 2 goals and 5. Heading into the final quarter, it was maybe a 3 or 4 point game at that stage, but Offaly really showed their class in the final quarter.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, but thankfully now they stepped up. I do think they've learned a lot from the last few games, like I said, especially against Limerick. Conceding those goals, it meant they had to rearrange things, and I would say that's where they maybe put the pressure on the forward line, knowing that they couldn't let that pressure in again in the back line. I think that paid off kind of all throughout the game, so thankfully it went their way.
Heading into this season, would promotion presumably was a key aim, so you must be happy enough with where you are at the moment.
Yeah, I think even for the last few years, since we went down to Division 4, promotion was always the one thing, you'd aim to get out of the year, even, despite even progressing in Championship or anything. It was always one thing that Offaly's needed to do to get out of Division 4, because we were well able. Maybe for Division 3 it was an unlucky relegation, but yeah, so I know it was great for them to get into the semi-final, I think, because they were so disappointed after even losing 2 weeks ago. I don't think that was really planned at all, so they'll be delighted now to be through to the semi. Absolutely,
a knockout from here on in. And just final word on London, making 3 trips across the pond to play these games. Have been good spells of dominance in those games as well. They'll be pleased, and they're returning to competitive action here in after a tough 2 years for all these teams, especially the London teams, really getting back into action. But they can be proud of their efforts today. Oh, definitely, yeah. I think their credit, and afterwards it's never easy. It's hard for any team to prepare, and it can't be easy for them to have to travel and still expected to show up and perform well. And I think they'd be very proud of the performance. Disappointed with that they got so close, as the game went on, and then see the score kind of get further away again. But yeah, I'd say they'd be happy enough. Good start to them coming back to the league anyway. So Offaly finishing up on 6 points now. They will finish in second place regardless of what Limerick do against Carlow. Even with a Limerick loss, they do have the head-to-head advantage over Offaly. So Limerick will finish top of this group, Offaly in second, but they'll be very pleased with the form that they're carrying into that semi-final. So it finishes here at Gaelic Park in Edenderry by 4 goals and 10 points to 2 goals and 5 in favour of Offaly over London. Thanks for tuning in.